What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Today we are going to be reacting to Davey Lives On short film posted by NASCAR. I hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's video. Like I said, we're going to do one more video after this one about Davey, learning more about his life, his NASCAR career, what happened after his life. So I would assume this video is like after story of what happened after he passed, because I don't think it would be anything new, but let's not assume. It could be fucking anything. We're gonna hop right into it. Original video link will be down in the description. Let's get into the video.
Kettner off to races with healthy heart. Kettner underwent surgery Tuesday at University of Alabama. My doctor just stands back now and looks at me and shakes his head and says that it's marvelous what took place.
Was it marvelous?
You're in the deepest, darkest pit of hell.
Or was it hell? Can it be both?
When he got the heart, it was just a miracle, really.
Was it a miracle?
I just remember thinking that this is the worst thing that could ever happen.
Or the worst thing that could ever happen? Can it be both? Can someone's darkest moment be
This is
another's
well shot.
brightest?
What was that day like for them? Because I know what it was like for us. Man, our lives were changed forever. Were their lives changed forever?
There's one question that Kettner must face for the rest of his life. Did he really get Davey Allison's heart?
A Beyond the Will.
That thing got to zoom in and zoom out.
Yep, I'm looking up your nose right now.
I love just the realness of Davey. He was from Hueytown, Alabama, for goodness sakes.
Well, everybody at home, take a look at that.
He was just this approachable
He seemed goofy.
Alabama kid that talked with a little bit of a country accent.
Here he comes, spray you in the face.
He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was a bust your knuckles, get down and sweep the garage floor in the race shop kind of kid. Guys wanted to have a beer with him and hang out with him. Girls had crushes on him. Mamas wanted to bring him home and give him a big hug. I mean, he was just that kind of guy.
Did you get that?
Everybody could relate to Davey, and I think that was just the gift that he had.
I feel like everybody had their time to
Davey
shine.
Allison grew up in Hueytown, Alabama.
Or
The son of
everyone has their
NASCAR
time to
driver
shine.
Bobby Allison.
At some point
In the
in their life.
1960s, Bobby, along with his brother Donnie and friends Neil Bonnet and Red Farmer, established what would be known as the Alabama Gang in racing circles, a collective that would become one of the most successful in NASCAR for decades. And Davey was eager to continue the family business.
I've worked for a long time to get to this stage, and I've had one goal in mind, and that's to get to the top and try to stay there.
Davey had a gift behind the wheel of the car. There's no denying.
There it is, Davey Allison wins! The fortunes of the Allison family celebrating in victory lane.
He loved beating people that he thought were the best. You know, I mean, listen, he wanted to beat Dale Earnhardt. He wanted to beat Bobby Allison. He wanted to beat the best of the best, because if he did, then that meant that he was pretty dang good.
Because he's a winner.
One of my absolute favorite memories is the 88 Daytona 500.
And the winner of the 30th annual Great American Race, Bobby Allison. Davey Allison, his son, in second. The Alabama Gang has conquered the Daytona 500.
Their celebration.
Oh,
of
his
victory
son
lane
came
is
in
just
second? Did I hear that right?
unbelievable. I think few people in their lifetime get to experience that kind of happiness.
When I was a little kid, I always dreamed about racing with my dad and having a 1-2 finish, but I wanted him to be second. Today, it was just his turn to be up front.
That's awesome.
Davey Allison was a rising star. In 7 short years, he racked up 66 top 5 finishes, 14 poles, and 19 victories. During this time, he also began building his family, fathering 2 children, Krista and Robbie Allison. By 1992, Davey had gone from an up-and-coming driver to a perennial championship contender.
Davey Allison
So
is
it's
going
like
to
a
win the
deep
Daytona
dive on
500.
his life.
The Alabama gang has done it again.
All
That's
the
like
backstory.
that win that every driver wants.
Yes! We've done it! Give me a kiss. We won!
Did it, Daddy?
We won!
Everybody was healthy and happy, and he was winning, and we were all there together.
This
Just-
sport
it
must
doesn't get
be
any
like
better
must
than
feel
that.
so rewarding.
It was like one of those moments where you felt like life is good.
I got 2 great kids and a great wife over here. It's just been a great day for us.
But for the Alabama gang, success and tragedy were entangled on the racetrack. In 1988, just months after his Daytona win, Bobby Allison was nearly killed at Pocono Raceway, forcing his retirement from racing. Then in 1992, Davey's brother Clifford was killed after crashing during practice at the Michigan International Speedway.
Probably the toughest day of my life.
That's tough
You know,
shit.
I think he'd want us to carry on and not sit back and feel sorry for him, much less feel sorry for ourselves.
Yeah.
He just didn't talk about it very much and really didn't want to. And that kind of that escapism was climbing back in the car and racing.
So much of our life has been based on whatever happens to someone else in our family, we still have to do our best to do our job right.
My fear really started creeping in at that time. I became more paranoid just about everything that might happen and could happen. And Davey, I mean, a lot did happen.
The way that shit started, it didn't look like it was gonna turn out how it turned out.
Has experienced a horrifying crash.
If y'all want to see it, I'll show them to you, but it's ugly. So,
There for a while, he was winning or wrecking. There was nothing in between. He wasn't afraid of dying at all. He never was. That was just the essence of Davey's heart. I heard a tap on the door, and it was Wayne and Greg, these 2 guys that work for him at the shop. And they said, Liz, and I knew the way they said Liz, I knew something was wrong. They just said, there's been an accident, and we just need you to go with us. So I hopped in the car with them, and I just kept asking them where Davey was.
Allison
And they're not
boarded his
answering no
personal
questions?
helicopter that morning
You
to
can't
fly
just tell me,
himself
"Come on,
and
let's
friend
go,"
Red
with, like,
Farmer
a
to
worry on your
Talladega
face and not
Speedway
tell me.
watch testing. While attempting to land on the infield, Allison lost control.
Oh, wow.
I hated that helicopter. I hated it from the beginning. I hated it.
Mr. Allison was flown in here on Lifesaver helicopter this afternoon following a crash at Talladega in his helicopter. He is now listed in very critical condition.
I knew when I saw him that he was in really bad shape.
Upon arrival, his diagnosis was a fractured clavicle or collarbone, a fracture at the ankle involving the small bone in the leg, the fibula, a fractured pelvis, a contused or bruised lung, but most importantly, a very, very serious closed head injury.
The chief surgeon who was overseeing Davey's case, his words were, he fought a good fight, but he's dead. That was it.
That's all they had to say?
Allison, 32 of Hueytown, Alabama, injured in a private helicopter crash yesterday at Talladega Superspeedway. Died this morning at Caraway Methodist Medical Center.
The pain is as sharp and as real as it would ever be, and there's no way to take the pain away, and this is the worst thing that could ever happen, and it's happening. Right after it was, he fought a good fight and he's dead. It was, I think he took a breath, and then it was, would you like to donate his organs?
Oh, wow.
It's that quick.
Often it's one of the most difficult conversations because simultaneously you're conveying some really tragic news, but then also ask that
Dying
very
is scary.
question in this difficult time, can we create some utility from all of this for another patient.
It's horrible. It's horrible to try to make those decisions in that moment. You're in the deepest, darkest pit of hell, and you're trying to make a decision that will affect other people's lives. And organ donation at the time, 25 years ago, it wasn't what it is today. People didn't discuss it openly. I remember I turned around and looked at Tommy Allison, who was Davey's best friend and his cousin, and I said, I think he would do this. And he said, I think you're right.
In the Allison family spirit of giving, the family has requested that his organs be donated so that others may live.
I just really prayed about whoever received all of his organs, but who would receive his heart was just really, really important to me.
Freddie was a very jolly person, and he had lots of friends, and he also loved racing. He would not miss when the races would come on TV. So he was just an all-American boy, I guess. He loved to deer hunt. He had his first heart attack when he went up in the woods to deer hunt. The doctor told him he needed to just sit on the back porch and drink lemonade, and he'd say, I don't like lemonade.
When Freddie Kettner, a TV repairman from Flintstone, Georgia, was 53 years old, he was placed on a heart transplant list, the only thing doctors told him could save his life. Bedridden from a failing heart, Kettner and his wife Dolores stayed in a Birmingham, Alabama hospital for over a year, hoping for the life-saving procedure.
He would just take each day, just hoping maybe the next day he would receive his heart. And they didn't know for sure if he was going to live through the night.
Life takes crazy turns, man, and you never know when it's going to hit
Freddie
you.
was laying there in the bed. I walked in his room. It's on the news, and he said, oh, there's been an accident. Said Davey has just crashed his helicopter. They kept running it over and over. And he looked up and he said, oh, there's my heart, just like that. And after that, the heart surgeon up there come in and said, I think we've got to get you ready. We found a heart.
When it's time to take out the other heart, you literally look in that person's chest and it's empty. Then the rather laborious task of sewing in the new heart begins. Once that's completed and you release the clamps, that's really the magical moment, the moment of truth, to see if that heart starts beating. And of course, his did. It was a very strong heart.
When he got the heart, it was just a miracle, really.
Wow.
He just felt like he had a new lease on life.
There's times now,
I don't even know what to
25
say.
years later, where I still go, my God, that happened. Like, that really happened. But your heart doesn't know time.
After her husband's death, Liz Allison collected and packed Davey's possessions and stored them in her garage, unable to look through the painful memories associated with his tragic passing. They've sat untouched. But now, after 25 years, she was finally ready to confront these memories.
For so long, I didn't want to see them. But life has to go on. The main thing really was for Robbie and Krista. This is one of those hats.
This is the hat.
Oh, he wore it at the racetrack. He was proud of his goofy hat. With them not knowing who their dad was, it was important for them to have everything that they could have to remember their dad. I just sit down in the garage sometimes with the dogs at my feet, and I get a box of Kleenex, and sometimes I laugh and sometimes I cry. It's amazing to me how as much healing and as much time passes, how painful it can still be, and how Davey will always be that young, vibrant 32-year-old that walked out of the house that morning.
Liz also began the process of finding out information about the recipients of Davey's organs, something that had previously been too painful. The identities of the individuals that received Davey's liver, kidneys, and heart by Alabama law had remained anonymous. Through an intermediary organization, Liz requested this information and waited to hear the results.
It wasn't from a judgmental standpoint of, are you worthy? It was, did it change your life?
He wanted to get back like he was before. He was so happy that he was able to be with his family.
That is beautiful,
his
man.
grandchildren. He got to see those 2 girls that was born after the heart transplant. Was just proud of all the moments he had to spend with them. And you know, young children don't forget that. He got 2 of these little race cars, 28, and this was Davey's little race car. And this was special because his grandchildren gave it to him after he had his heart transplant. When he died, his son took one of them out and put in his casket.
Though this information was never verified officially, the Kettner family always speculated that Freddie received Davey Allison's heart. But nearly 25 years after her husband's death, Liz Allison was given a list of individuals who received Davey's heart.
Hey, all successes.
Freddie Kettner finally confirmed as the recipient of Davey's heart. Freddie lived almost 5 more years after receiving his heart transplant. Cumulatively, Davey's organs went on to give 4 recipients more than 46 years of life.
Wow.
I hope that person's life was changed and that they did everything that they wanted to do, and that they hugged everybody that they wanted to hug, and that they told their kids how much they loved them, and that they had peace, and they left this great place.
Can it be both? Can someone's darkest moment be another's brightest? For Liz Allison and Dolores Kettner, 2 women forever linked by one day and one tragedy. It can.
It was joy knowing he got the heart, but then you're still sad that someone else has lost their loved one.
Yeah.
We made that decision to give life, and so life is what we gave. It wasn't our decision for Davey's life to end, but it was our decision to give life to somebody else. Man, looking back, I know we did the right thing.
Liz, I want to thank you for making that decision. It was life-saving for Freddie and helped her family 5 more years.
Bro, I'm getting all fucking sad and shit. A nigga might cry.
Even when he's leaving us and giving that final gift of himself in his most vulnerable sense, he's making an impact. That was Davey.
Tell him bye-bye.
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 Is that it?
She said to heck with it. Bye-bye.
Yo. This story right here had me speechless the whole fucking time. You can't tell me that's not some movie type shit. All of that, he got homie's heart. He saved, what was it, 5 more lives? 4 more lives? 4 or 5? I can't remember. It was either 4 or 5. He saved lives though. Like that is insane. It's like some things are just meant to be. Some things are just meant to happen the way they happen because of moments like this that we don't ever get to see the light of day of, because we're regular people. This shit happens to regular people probably every day, where like some crazy shit happens and like it's like life changing, but we never see it because it's not recorded and just put online for people to see. So being able to witness it, absolutely insane. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I love y'all. Peace.
They wanna forward, like I was down bad, was stuck in the mud. Now nigga done cleaned up Louis V on the so-so.